A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight. Before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. In our top stories tonight, Museveni attends Russia-Africa Summit. Premier Nabanja appeals to Milan industrialists to invest in Uganda. Parliament approves statutory instruments on local councils. And UBC trains PDM finance monitors to drive development initiatives. Good evening once again. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is in the Russian city of St. Petersburg to attend a two-day Russia-Africa Summit, has on the sidelines of the summit met and held a meeting with the committee of the African Peace Initiative on the crisis in Ukraine that recently met Ukrainian President His Excellency Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin in an attempt to broker and end the conflict in Ukraine. Although President Museveni was one of the African leaders who were nominated to be part of the African Peace Initiative on Ukraine, he was unable to travel because of health complications and was represented by his special envoy and former Prime Minister Dr. Uganda. The committee, which included presidents of South Africa, Senegal, Zambia, Comoros Islands and other senior officials from African governments last month, met President Putin and President Zelensky separately in their respective countries with a view of pushing for the end to the conflict in Ukraine. During the meeting, President Museveni was briefed on the progress made by the Committee of African Leaders in the quest for peace and the end of conflict in Ukraine. They also shared the different views and sentiments held by the warring factions in Ukraine. President Museveni reiterated his commitment to continue working with the committee so as to ensure that a peaceful and amicable solution is realized in Ukraine for the good of the people of Ukraine, Russia, the region, and the rest of the world. Earlier, President Museveni attended the opening of the second Russia-Africa Economic and Humanitarian Forum. In his address while opening the summit, President Putin reiterated Russia's commitment to enhance trade, economic gains, and humanitarian cooperation with Africa, and expressed hope that the summit will contribute to the realization of these goals. President Putin used the occasion to assure African leaders and the world that Russia was doing all it could to avert the looming food crisis caused by the conflict in Ukraine that risked to cause shortage and price spikes of grains. He further assured the summit that Russia was ready to replace Ukraine's grains both on commercial basis or as a grant and to the neediest African countries, as it has expanded and recorded the highest yield ever. He equally pledged cooperation with the African continent in the area of education through increased enrollment of African students in Russian universities, opening of Russian state media bureaus on the African continent, and putting up a common information space center for Russia and Africa. He equally pledged cooperation with the African continent in the areas of science and technology and agriculture, noting that with mechanized agriculture, the African continent will not only ensure food security for the continent, but would also feed the world. The business community is being urged to upgrade their produce to meet the growing demand for Uganda's products. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, emphasized the diplomatic and economic advantages of President Museveni's visit to Russia and other countries in the Far East and North.
Economic potential between the government of Uganda and the Russian Federation is set to open up markets for locally produced products, including agricultural goods and human resources. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, encourages the Ugandan business community to take advantage of the President Museveni's efforts in strengthening ties with the Russian neighboring countries.
These minerals, like tea, these people live in a very cold environments. They need tea, they need coffee. and many other agricultural products. And we are saying for these products to be beneficial to Ugandan, we must process them from here to create jobs for our own people, but also when we sell processed items, they fetch more dollars than.
Uganda is leveraging its oil, gas and mineral resources to foster collaboration and facilitate a paradigm shift in trade. Russia's abundance of wheat also presents an opportunity for strengthening trade ties. Uganda's historical export is en routing to Serbia.
Now we are discussing bilateral arrangements between Uganda and Serbia to do a lot of trade and business. So the visit by our president to those countries is very crucial for the survival of our country, particularly the economy, because we depend on each other. The Russians, the Europeans need Ugandans and Africans, but also we need them. So it's very important, not only for mere diplomatic relations, but most importantly for business and trade relations to support our economies. We have given a policy directive for all minerals to be processed, and we add value, and they only get out when we have added value, and many other products.
Besides past collaborations in arms deals and defense capacity building, Uganda and Russia are looking forward to diversify their cooperation.
Addressing diplomatic relations with the rest of the world, and definitely like Russia and Ukraine, that area, there are many items which we import as Africa. For instance, wheat and grain-related products, things like fertilizer, things like military equipment, and many others. So it becomes important to strengthen diplomatic relations, and then you are able to promote trade. Like
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is currently in Russia for the Russia-African Summit, where they aim to enhance collaboration in defense, education, energy, culture, trade and investment. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honourable Nabanja Robina, has met a group of industrialists in the Italian city of Milan who are training youths in skills. Nabanja is leading a Ugandan delegation that comprises of the Executive Director, Uganda Investment Authority, Dr. Robert Mukiza, and other technocrats to convince Italian investors to come to Uganda.
During the meeting, Nabanja first visited Lorenzo Spa Engineering Training Solutions at the factory in Milan. She assured the Lorenzo management that Uganda is a youthful country with well-educated people who only need to be further honored to meet industry needs.
And now, as a government, we have come up with a policy of stopping the exportation of our raw materials. That's why now we can now boast of 4,800 industries in Uganda.
Nabanja described the Lorenzo as good partners and urged them to invest in Uganda, highlighting the country's peaceful environment and its position as a regional business hub for East Africa and the Great Lakes region.
Is that my country is currently investing sustainably in technical and vocational training because of its potential to generate meaningful employment and contribute to the development of the skilled human resources.
The Prime Minister appealed to Di Lorenzo to explore arrangements for adding value to agricultural products in Uganda, which are currently being wasted due to poor post-harvest handling.
Because Uganda, 80% of our land is arable land. We are lucky God gave us the best weather. We get rain. Our rainfall pattern is 8 months in a year.
The CEO of Di Lorenzo Spa, Paul Prosperi Matao, assured the delegation of their readiness to invest in Uganda and revealed that they are already supplying equipment to Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigomba. Additionally, they have decided to donate a training hub to the Ugandan government to contribute to skill development.
This is a very important opportunity because countries like Uganda do not need some time to invest by your own resources, by your own funds, but presenting the right project to one of those entities, there are so many other, JICA, COICA, whatsoever, can request the finances, even in terms of loans or even in terms of grant.
During harvest, Nabanja also met educationists led by Dr. Letizia Morati from the IFO Impact in Milan. Morati expressed a willingness to partner with Uganda and invest in the education sector by establishing an entrepreneurship center in northern Uganda.
For us, nowadays, Uganda is the second country, just after, because we started a long time ago. We have several projects. I was in Uganda in May. I will be back in August. And so, for us, for me, Uganda is very important.
Dr. Robert Mukiza, the Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority, assured the industrialists that Uganda offers all the necessary conditions to start a business and achieve profitable returns.
We export a lot of raw materials. Right Honourable Prime Minister did tell us about that. We want to go ahead and go up the value chain of all our raw materials, particularly the agricultural products and our minerals. There are quite a lot in our country, but take the opportunity to leapfrog technologies, to use the latest technologies to do that. We are trying very much to industrialize our country. Why not take advantage of the technology that is coming in 5, 10, 15 years?
The Prime Minister's visit to Italy aims to promote Uganda as an investment hub in Eastern Central Africa. They visited various workshops and training facilities in Milan. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC has taken a significant step towards empowering communities and ensuring equitable funds delivery through the Parish Development Model Program. A specialized training of trainers has been conducted to equip media professionals with the tools to disseminate accurate information about PDM initiatives. We have more.
The Parish Development Model Finance Monitoring Training, organized by UBC, brought together station managers, producers and representatives from key ministries and departments involved in the PDM program.
Our focal persons, those are the station managers, some producers. Then we are also training some ministry and other departments of government that are key in the implementation of the Parish Development Model Program. And in particular, this one, we want to equip our audiences with information, with the factual information that can help them to understand and be able to be part of the monitoring of funds that are being disbursed to them.
The training focused on empowering audiences with factual information, enabling them to actively participate in the funds allocated by the government.
How do we ensure that the funds that are being disbursed here go to the rightful owners? We know that by broadcasting programs that enlist the feedback, we want the people to give us feedback. We want these MDS, we want all the stakeholders, especially the beneficiaries, to be able to make a call to UBC or to send an SMS.
The goal is to ensure feedback reaches the right individuals and stakeholders, making them an integral part of the PDM program. The training is of utmost significance for journalists and media houses.
The key topics are knowing the intent, the objective of this project, so that we handle it as journalists from an informed angle. Once you prepare a program, you know what to touch and what kind of topical issues that will generate information to help the project move smoothly and to avoid questions that we did not know or we were not informed enough to know how the project of Parish Development Model moves.
Training is of utmost significance for journalists and media houses.
One of the biggest challenges PDM has faced is misinformation. Many people have been pessimistic about the program even before it takes off. But it's good now that money has been dispersed to circles and many enterprises have taken off. So it's now time to start collecting information around what the communities are doing and disseminating those benefits.
The Parish Development Model Finance Monitoring Trainers are now well prepared to provide accurate and reliable information about the PDM program, ensuring funds reach their intended recipients and drive development initiatives. This marks a pivotal step forward in Uganda's quest for equitable funds delivery. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, has challenged politicians in Mityana district to keep politics out of the government programs aiming at improving household incomes for the communities. Nabakoba was officiating the disbursement of parish development model funds to eligible beneficiaries in Mityana district at an event held at municipality offices.
The Parish Development Model is a government program aiming at improving household incomes for low earners at parish levels.
The speed and the pace at which the program is running is quite normal, very normal.
In Mityana district, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, has launched the disbursement of funds for PDM to the intended beneficiaries. During the launch, Nabakoba appealed to politicians to step politics out of government programs intended to enhance household income.
Government has also put up facilitation for the parish development committees, 250,000 quarterly. Then the parish development circles, 100,000 shillings monthly.
For the beneficiaries who instantly received the funds through mobile money transactions, they were urged to invest the funds into productive ventures that will change their lives.
I have told them to utilize the funds properly, and I have also told the technical officers not to ask for any money from these beneficiaries, because at the end of the 2 years we are expecting the beneficiaries to return 1 million Ugandan shillings.
According to the district officials and PDM managers, the pilot exercise will run in the 3 parishes. So far, 305 beneficiaries have received 1 million shillings each.
Sako ez'emiruka 15 ziriko obukadde 107 mu mugatte, buli sako eriko obukadde 107 n'obusente obugwamu. In total ye biliyoni emu mu obukadde 606.
Message njirina ku simu era wenva wono ngenda mu banka.
Ekyamazima mu butuufu mpulira essanyu ku mutima wamu n'abantu bange benkulembedde okumala ebbanga ery'emyaka 2 ebyo.
We have seen 305 beneficiaries getting messages on their phones, each receiving 1 million shillings as PDM funds.
The 3 parishes out of the 15 intended to receive the funds are Nakasete, Busimbi, Busubizi Tamu and the Katakala Central Division in Mityana Municipality. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The first daughter, Natasha Karugire Museveni, has launched her groundbreaking docu-series, Those Among You, delving into the rich history and politics of the country. In a contrast to her previous project, the acted movie 27 Guns, this new docu-series adopts an authentic approach. Gone are the staged scenes. Instead, the viewers are treated to an intimate sit-down with the very heroes and heroines who bravely fought in the bush during Uganda's liberation struggle. The highly anticipated event took place at Arena Mall in Kampala and attracted a diverse audience of delegates, leaders, family and friends, all eager to catch a glimpse of Natasha Museveni's latest creation. Dr. Arikana Chihombori, the esteemed former permanent representative of the African Union to the United States, graced the occasion as the chief guest. Her presence added a touch of significance to the event, recognizing the importance of preserving Uganda's narrative and heritage. Natasha Museveni's docu-series promises to unravel untold stories, shining a spotlight on the unsung heroes who shaped Uganda's destiny. With this captivating and authentic venture, she cements her place as a visionary producer devoted to bringing the nation's past to life in an unprecedented and unforgettable way.
which puts together all those parts. That's what we're showing today from among you. Is the name of the series, the name of the one we're airing tonight. It tells the story about history as a nation and the liberation struggle and how we came to be in this place. So because I'm a mother and I have children of a certain age group, and I want them to just be enlightened. I don't want them to be unaware of our story and the context of Uganda, how we came to be where we are now, so they understand the struggles and the challenges we faced, and appreciate and also so that these young people can be productive and patriotic citizens. So is that this one is not acted, so it's real life stuff, and we also have footage from the archives that has not been seen before, which is quite it's very interesting, very moving to see the reality of what was happening in the time of the liberation struggle. And also we have the voices of our elders who are really experts in their fields. So I think that makes it that much more special.
Former Arua District Vice Chairman Boniface Alioni dragged Arua District to court over matters of allocating part of the district headquarters to accommodate the military. According to a document from Arua High Court dated 31st March 2023, a temporary injunction stopped Arua District from relocating UPDF in Arua City to the proposed Arua District headquarters at Adumi in Vura Sub-County until disposal of the suit.
In this particular case, I had sued Arua District local government. The district, in the current upcoming fiscal master plan, have reserved the land there. They have allocated some land there, written on it that reserved for the military. That I want to appeal to them to remove that immediately.
According to Alioni, giveaway of the current military land to an investor does not concern Arua District local government to acquire alternative land for relocation of UPDF from the city rather than Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
When the president gave the current military land in Arua City to Acacia Place Limited for putting 5-star hotel, in our previous arrangements and meetings, we had agreed that the investor should get equivalent size of land to relocate the military police, not the district local government. The issue of relocation of the military police from Arua City to elsewhere to pave way for development of the 5-star hotel, if anything, Ministry of Defense has very good budget. They must do that. That falls under the Ministry of Defense.
In a letter by President Museveni, dated 5th of June 2022, addressed to the Chief of Defense Forces, investor of the current military land in Arua City has been requested to build structures at the new site at Odumi for the military police. While referring to the president's letter, Arua District Chairman Alfred Okonji refuted the allegation, saying the land in question is not meant to relocate UPDF, but to provide space for military police, who he said are necessary to curb urban crimes in Arua District.
People of Arua District are being confused by people who want to confuse them. The stand is very clear. President's letter is very clear. Please relocate the military police, not UPDF. They are trained to curb down urban crimes, and secondly, they are to discipline errant UPDFs. You saw it, the recent court martial, which took place at Bondo. It was manned by the military police, and that's why we succeeded. Here somebody is busy confusing my people of Vora that the district is relocating UPDF. We have big UPDF barracks called Bondo.
According to the chairman, many criminals are now planning crimes from Arua City and implement it in Arua District, and attributed those opposing the district decision as people who are confusing locals.
Nowadays, people plan crimes here. They go and they implement where? In Arua District, in Vora. But somebody is busy saying permanent injunction. Now we have Uganda police. We have gone ahead to have the traffic police. We are advancing to get the field force unit. And then after field force unit, we definitely needed the military police, because there are now gunpoint robberies taking place in Arua District.
That will be complementing the efforts of police. Because that is our custom point, where we have the people crossing over immigration from DRC, maybe en route to even Southern Sudan, through Arua city. So it is a very, very busy border point, and which attracts some elements of the people who would imagine are not good people.
The National Leadership Institute Director Brigadier General Charles Kisembo has urged Ugandans to embrace patriotism training and create unity among East African countries. This was communicated while at the launch of a patriotism program at Kamwenge Secondary and Vocational Institute in Kamwenge District.
In 2009, President Yoweri Museveni launched the new National Strategic Program to inculcate the norms and values of patriotism in secondary schools and the youth in Uganda. He called it the National Patriotic Program that has been embraced by many institutions, the latest being Kamwenge Secondary and Vocational School. The program launch at Kamwenge Secondary and Vocational School was graced by the National Leadership Institute Director, Brigadier General Charles Kisembo.
One who has been given a responsibility, I think it's God's plan for my life. I believe if I do this, history will absolve me. In other words, I will not suffer from self-guilt that I should have done that and I didn't.
The Patriotism Club in these institutions has started with over 500 participants trained in several areas, including mindset change, self-defense, patriotism, among other values.
So we want leaders who have the ability to see things and interpret things beyond the ordinary, to have eyes that see the essence, and that you can analyze social problems. That's why we have what we call tools of thinking. You see the essence, not the phenomena, the external appearance of things.
The future of Kamwenge is going to be great, especially among the young ones. We pray that all the schools undergo such a training, but mostly the teachers have shown interest, and the parents are cooperating with the teachers to make sure that we have such a training.
The National Leadership Institute Director, Brigadier General Charles Kisembo, says that Chankwanza is for all Ugandans to acquire training, and they are free to learn Swahili language, which will boost on social, economic, and promote unity among East African countries.
Good, but in what context? Can you go to Tanzania and say, Nigahe, who will listen to you? After all, what are you going to do there? Go to Kenya, go to South Sudan. The language which is going to link us is Kiswahili. The earlier we internalize it, the better. And I thank the leader, and it shouldn't be optional. It should be taught throughout the schools so that we empower this younger generation and open doors for survival.
Ivan Juko, Patrick Mugera for UBC.
The State Minister for Transport, Fred Byamukama, has commended the voluntary efforts of civil society organizations who implement government efforts of reducing road and traffic safety accidents and deaths on Ugandan roads, and pledged more government support and cooperation with them in the fight. The minister was officiating at the launch of the Hovita report on reducing road fatalities and injuries among school-going children and young people at Hotel Africana in Kampala.
A report compiled by the Hope for Victims of Traffic and Roads Accidents on reducing road fatalities and injuries among school-going children and young people has recommended that government sets up a mandatory speed limit of 30 kilometers per hour in heavily populated areas and school environments as one of the ways of reducing accidents among young people and the general public. It further recommends that government, private sector, civil society and donor communities invest more resources in road and traffic safety to save lives of innocent Ugandans.
So that our children are not locked in the front of school gates. So they are supposed to have crosswalks, supposed to have speed humps, and then also walkways with barriers.
We are also advocating for curriculum for teacher training colleges so that
when they come out of colleges, they are equipped with information.
Officiating at the report launch at Hotel Africana in Kampala, the State Minister for Transport, Fred Byamukama, hailed the efforts of non-government actors like civil society organizations towards road and traffic safety and pledged government's continued support and collaboration.
We are here specifically to show our commitment as government, that's the Ministry of Works and Transport, that we are ready to partner with them, we are ready to collaborate with them. We must reduce the accidents among the school-going children. If possible, we eliminate them permanently, and this is possible.
Members of Parliament, Traffic Police and Private Teachers Association also hailed the initiative despite some challenges.
The Ugandans, they have the responsibility to save lives. You can only save lives by following the laws.
Work together with all these stakeholders to ensure that all this idea is brought down on ground to benefit our learners.
As police, what are we doing? We are doing enforcement at school.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Multi Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Multi Technologies, your professional research firm.
Dear Airtel customer, we know that there are days when unexpected stays in hospital stand in the way of your family's welfare. That is why Hospital Center is here to give you up to 100,000 shillings every night you spend in hospital. Hospital Center also offers up to 4 million in funeral benefit. Dial *185*7*6# to purchase Hospital Center on Airtel Money for as little as 1,000, 3,000 or 5,000 shillings a month. Your cover for the first 1 month is free. Hospital Center is underwritten by Prudential and powered by Turaco. Prudential and Turaco are regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda. Airtel Money is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
Uganda's oil and gas projects are providing opportunities for international certification and employment in various disciplines. 12,000 Ugandans have received global oil industry training and international certification in welding, heavy goods vehicle driving, and scaffolding, among others. 6 public and private institutions have received international accreditation and certification from industry bodies such as City and Guilds, ECITB, OPITO, AWS, and NEBOSH. 250 government officers from various ministries and agencies have trained in oil and gas-related disciplines such as petroleum engineering, geosciences, law, and economics. 71,300 Ugandans are currently employed in the sector. The National Oil and Gas Talent Register provides visibility to Ugandans with skills and competencies for possible employment in the oil and gas sector. Registration is free. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Introducing the Infinix Note 30 series in partnership with Airtel Uganda, a smartphone where style meets functionality. Take charge of the day with special features like the 108MP triple camera and 68 watts first charge, and the best part is you can use this phone to charge other phones. You also will enjoy free 3GB from Airtel every month for 3 months on each new device purchased. Dial *100#, select data and devices to get your free data. The Infinix Note 30 series Spark, a connection in partnership with Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back from that break. Now in more news, Buganda Kingdom Premier Charles Peter Mayiga has condemned the rampant land grabbing and evictions that don't even spare the physically disabled. Mayiga attributed this to poor implementation of land laws and the mischiefs at the Land Commission. He echoed this at a ceremony he hosted the Equal Opportunity Commission members in Mengo.
Members of the Equal Opportunity Commission, led by the chairperson Hajati Sophia Nalejuko, paid a courtesy visit at Bulange Mengo and were welcomed by the Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga. During the meeting, Sophia Nalejuko reported to the Buganda Kingdom Premier about the challenges they face as people with disabilities.
I want to share the Buganda, would like you to share with us the Buganda Equal Opportunities concerns. From our interaction with different stakeholders, it has manifested that Buganda has concerns on issues of equity and equal opportunities. It is our request that the Kingdom documents and shares with the Commission these concerns so that we can forward them to the concerned authorities for their necessary action. Still do their Ministry of Policy statements with specific budget votes. So it is within these budget votes that issues are planned and budgeted for. That's why I want to make guidelines, to give guidelines so that nothing can be left out.
As it's a common problem that has exposed many to victims of land grabbing, Nale said people with disabilities are the most vulnerable to being lured and evicted from their land because of their nature.
Kati ngabalema tukola nnyo okubeera ng'ofuna sente tukola like tuteekamu amaanyi naye akanda gamba nange nettaka lyange nti leeta ebiwandiiko ate abantu abamu bayinza n'okugula ekibanja n'abeerako just ndaganda kati ensonga eyo tubadde tukubiriza Buganda ekolagane ne central government.
However, the Buganda Premier condemned the act, attributing it to the poor implementation of the land laws and mischiefs at the Land Commission.
Some of the iniquities, like evicting disabled people from their lands, isn't because of unfair laws. I should be very clear about that. It's not because of unfair laws or the disparity between titled owners of land and the customary owners. No, of the reasons for the evictions is the weaknesses in implementation of the land laws as they exist. The land laws as they exist are adequate to protect everyone, including disabled people. But there is inadequacy in applying them. There is inadequacy in the land offices. The lawyers here will tell you.
Mayiga urged the people with physical disabilities not to live in misery and sympathy, but to always engage in activities that can change their lives.
We invite those who have impairments to visit Bulange to express sympathy to them. Not to express sympathy to them, but to encourage them to use their talents to develop themselves individually. So we invite them to encourage them to use their talents, to develop themselves first, individually. Not to congregate here so that we get, a conglomeration of sympathies, as it were, for the disabled people, or lamenting about the opportunities they miss. No, I don't like that. We don't like that. So those who are impaired in any way, should look for opportunities and take advantage of them, because there are many.
Mayiga also urged the parents to take their children to schools rather than abandoning them, praising the Commission for its fight for human rights.
So the children must be taken to school and encouraged to fight for themselves, not to go and be sympathized with. That's the biggest danger that parents with disabilities do, encouraging their children to look for sympathy, which is not good.
During their visit to the palace, the committee pledged 5 million Uganda shillings to assist with the preparations for the 30th coronation of Kabaka Mwenda Mutebi II, which will take place on the 31st of July next Monday. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Over 200 residents of Shugu Town Council in Shema District who were forced out of the Rabuza wetland have appreciated government for offering financial support to them to make environmentally friendly projects like fish ponds, beekeeping, piggery, among others in the catchment area where the wetland they wanted to destroy is situated. The beneficiaries made the remarks during a visit of officials from Building Resilient Communities and Associated Catchment Project.
Over the last 3 years, government has been engaged in running battles with over 200 encroachers who had wanted to destroy the Rabuza wetland in Shema District.
Government came to know that it is they are spoiling the soil, degrading the environment, and they were not supposed to do cultivation around wetland here.
Remember, before we came to restore this place, Shuku Town Council was renting out this place to community members. They could come and cultivate, and they were generating income for the town council.
However, with the urgent need of conserving the environment, it offered environmentally friendly alternatives through which the encroachers could coexist without destroying the wetland. The alternatives involved, among others, building fish ponds, beekeeping, and piggery projects.
We are given chicken through district officials. So they came to find that all categories of people, or the whole number of people, at least some extent, some were very busy with the businesses they were given, or projects they were given by the government.
These environmentally friendly projects that have not endangered the Rabuza wetland were spearheaded by the Ministry of Water and Environment.
We must ensure that we don't degrade wetlands, we don't degrade forest reserves, we don't degrade river banks. We should live at least 100 meters on major rivers.
The head of natural resources in Shema District, Tudyatunga Patrick Boaz, says during their campaign to save Rabuza wetland, they faced a challenge of political interference that nearly complicated the strategy to implement the guidelines.
There have been some conflict, some resistance somewhere, and intimidation from some notorious people, but not all of them. But accordingly, 80% were successful. We have also a challenge of political interference.
Joseph Malinga from Building Resilient Communities and Associated Catchment Project says the move to sensitize Ugandans on the dangers associated with destroying wetlands is unstoppable.
Whenever we are giving livelihood, we consult communities. After persuading them to leave the wetlands, we ask them what alternatives can you undertake other than cultivating in the wetlands. So people suggest the alternative livelihoods that they want to undertake, one of which includes fishing or fish farming.
The youths have been asked to champion the preservation of nature and environment. This was highlighted by Isaac Mungubule, the Supervisor Landscape, Kampala Capital City Authority, during the Kampala Climate Cafe Episode 3 at Alliance Francaise in Kamocha.
The youth have been asked to assist in providing climate-related research and participate more when making environmental policy decisions in Uganda.
Now, what the Kampala Climate Cafe offered was a platform for us to engage with various stakeholders and players in the community, and also to share what it is that we are doing and also hear from them. And that has been a great platform for us to engage, because we have seen that the element of youth is one of those elements that's usually neglected when we're implementing programs. And yet we find that the key people that implement our initiatives and activities are actually the youth. So what this has done and allowed us to do was to share and listen, most importantly, to the members and citizens of Kampala.
Crispus Mwemaho, the Kampala Climate Cafe CEO, says that the youth are major stakeholders and should not miss in action in all efforts aimed at spreading environmentally sustainable living practices.
Today we are at the third edition of Kampala Climate Cafe, and we are basically talking about how youth can affect environmental policy in Uganda. It is really important for youth to actively engage in the policy formulation of environmental challenges and environmental policies in Uganda. So we're trying to bring everyone on board to see how we can dialogue, have a conversation of climate.
Dr. Charles Bate of Tree Adoption Uganda says that environmental conservation is key, since it directly and indirectly impacts on human livelihood and should be given a multi-sectoral approach.
The linkages between climate change and health. It's important for us to note that the climate crisis is also a health crisis. This is because climate change impacts on our health both directly and indirectly. When we have landslides in Bututa, people die. When we have floods, people die. But also they can directly impact on our healthcare services. In Kasese, for instance, we saw entire healthcare centers being washed away.
A representative of the youth in this climate talk advised the youth to desist from being spectators on matters related to environment.
Youth need to be included in rooms where policy-making decisions are being included. Reason being, youth and children are not passive recipients of climate change policies, but are actually active stakeholders that carry strong ideas that can contribute to the environmental challenges.
As the world becomes increasingly aware of climate change matters, every small action geared towards protecting it counts. Crispus Arenaitwe, Helen Kamsime, UBC News.
The president of the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, Andrew Muhwezi, has stressed the critical role of empowering engineers with essential skills and knowledge to combat water scarcity and improve project success rates. This was during a training session with engineers in Ntinda near Kampala, where he also highlighted the need for proper decision-making to prevent failed projects.
Recognizing the disparity in water accessibility between urban and rural areas, the non-profit organization Engineers Without Borders has pledged to bridge this gap. Led by Technical Service Manager Joash Wambale, the organization is actively constructing clean water sources in rural regions across the nation.
We have put a lot of what we call point water sources. Point water sources are where they put a borehole and they add a pump, a hand pump. This is what people normally actually call a borehole. They put that hand pump, but we are saying there's need for us to shift from that because it's not sustainable.
We will need to pipe water to different places in the village. The determining where in the size of those pipes is done with the EPA NET program.
Successful execution of these projects could potentially benefit at least 4 villages to ensure the sustainability of these initiatives. Members of the organization will receive training on extending clean water sources in water-scarce areas.
The purpose is to equip them with the skills required for them to deliver sustainable water to the communities within the country, the skills that are necessary for them to design water systems that can provide sustainable water solutions to communities.
The focus lies on meticulous planning and decision-making to ensure long-term success and positive impacts on marginalized communities. The ongoing efforts hold promise to significantly enhance access to clean water for countless individuals across Uganda, improving their livelihoods and effectively addressing water scarcity challenges.
The design process will affect very many participants. It will affect the capital owners. If you over-design, then it means the capital owner will spend more.
By empowering engineers with the necessary skills and knowledge, these projects aim to make a lasting difference in the lives of those affected by water scarcity. Irene Faith Nantongo, Mary Namokose, UBC News.
Uganda ne Uganda waranji baktusako manra nechikona tera tekobu seko season yakuna savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall usasule kwa MTN mobile money usasula gumu chitundu MTN usasule nega nkomitano iga stemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ufune tiketi yokati wabula kumliango usasule mitwale ebiri yepe mitwale 5 ate meza ya milioni 2 munana July Golden Hotel mkono wenda July Nikan Resort Airways 15 July France Africa Jinja Abiri July Maria Flema Saka Abiri Mwenda July Afro Club Eka Sangati ate yoyo noku yingi na mutualo wafujini dwa musente Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Warranty
MTN. Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Molt Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Upgrade your lifestyle with the all-new entry-loaded Chillax voice bundles. Now, call all networks in Uganda with Chillax voice bundles. Call all networks, no expiry, no worries. Dial *100 *1# and select call all networks. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back. And now into the world of business. Uganda women's rights activists under Grasa Machel Trust Network Uganda chapter have unveiled a new technological tracking tool to assess the impact of Uganda's economic, social and political women's achievements, taking into account the negative effects of COVID-19 pandemic. The new tool is part of the Bill and Melinda Gates funded Women in Leadership and Financial Inclusion Economic Recovery Initiative.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic and its negative impact, especially on women, there was urgent need to put in place measures to ensure the gradual economic, social and political recovery of women in Uganda and the rest of the region. So the Uganda chapter of the Grasa Machel Trust Women Network, in partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, embarked on the Women in Leadership and Financial Inclusion Economic Recovery Initiative to avert the situation then. Through the Uganda chapter, the project managed to skill several Ugandan women on digital financial model skills, train women-led small and medium enterprises from the informal sector, and transformed them into the formal sector, among others.
During the first phase, we concentrated more on the round tables, concentrating on stakeholders, and these stakeholders informing us on what they have done and what we can do better post-COVID.
The GMT moving forward, we've been there for a very long time and we've been members of the GMT for a long time, but as we are moving forward, we are trying to create a movement that gives us political as well as social commitment towards our women's social and economic advancement.
A new technological tracking tool to assess the achievements and shortcomings of the first phase of the program has been unveiled in Kampala.
Ideally, the tracker or tracking tool is going to help us to monitor and evaluate the project. In other words, the tracker is going to help us collect relevant data, but also be able to analyze the key performance indicators.
Some of the network members include new faces, new voices, women in media, women in business, among others.
The managing director of Airtel Uganda, Manoj Murali, says the company has successfully secured the required 5G spectrum and will begin its deployment in Kampala starting next week. We have more details.
I realized that
Airtel Uganda had previously indicated its readiness for 5G technology in February 2023 with successful tests conducted at 11 sites in Kampala. The 5G network is designed to connect virtually everyone and everything together, enabling higher multi-Gbps peak data speeds, greater reliability and increased network capacity.
Tied up with a lot of device financing partners like Ncopa, Watu, Delight, who gives these handsets at affordable installment pricing to a lot of our customers. These facilities are available in all our stores.
The deployment will begin with 50 sites across Kampala, including areas such as Parliament Avenue.
We have done the tie-up with device financing partners. Then we are talking to the partners to say whether they can bring those devices. Now all of those efforts and even more will be replicated on the 5G. So over the next few months and years, you will actually start hearing about all of these things.
Airtel is committed to ensuring the security and privacy of its users on the 5G network. Rigorous measures have been implemented to safeguard against potential cyber threats.
For all our customers, we ensure that the entire data that we have is protected. We abide by the privacy regulations that is there in Uganda. We have a department which looks only at privacy. We have a data privacy officer. We do regular audits. We are also audited by the regulator, and we take extreme care to protect the privacy of all the customers and their data with us.
Additionally, addressing any health concerns, the deployment of 5G technology is backed by extensive research and adheres to global safety standards.
We launched 4G in Uganda way back in 2019. From there, we have ensured that we have given 4G access to all of us in all our sites, so across customers border to border can experience our 4G across Uganda. So that's the logic that we work with, but currently we are launching in Kampala and we'll expand from here.
Airtel Uganda's 5G deployment marks a significant milestone for the nation, promising to revolutionize communication and connectivity. As the company takes the lead in this technological advancement, Ugandans can look forward to an exciting and progressive future. Sandra Kahunde, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News Tonight.
Now, with the corporate space being governed by sets of guidelines, board of directors have been called upon to adapt to compliant means of operations like technology use in a dynamic regulatory landscape. We have more details in this report.
The second of its kind, the LEAD conference, has concentrated on the need by board directors and company heads to update their skills and knowledge in the corporate space in order to adapt to the robust changing office space regulations.
The frequency and severity of shocks imply that organizations require immunization boosters to keep the defenses high as the shocks and challenges transform and new ones emerge.
On all sides, especially with the board, that you have got exposure to the tools for being agile. Obviously technology, you don't have to mention it here, you've got those tools.
According to the body of directors, LEAD, there is need for an integrated and competent regulatory framework, which is key in ensuring compliance costs are managed for organizations.
So you find that in an ideal environment, there should be integration. If I am regulated, I should go to one place to get the license I need to be regulated, to file returns. That helps to reduce the cost of compliance.
Just finished an engagement around regulation, which is very, very key in ensuring that organizations are run well. And what is coming out of this is the need for the regulators and the regulated entities to work together, engage a lot more, collaborate a lot more to ensure that the objectives of the regulated and the regulators is successfully met.
This year's theme for the League of East African Directors is Governance and Business Resilience in a Dynamic Regulatory Landscape. Marina Wori and Juma Nsamba, UBC.
You'll find CMA.
Now, according to Eli Twineyo, the Executive Director of the Uganda Export Promotion Board, the Launchpad initiative has been highly successful in empowering SMEs in Uganda.
In an effort to enhance the capacity of small and medium enterprises, the Uganda Export Promotion Board launched a project called Launchpad aimed at building capabilities of private sector SMEs. The main purpose was to promote competitiveness in the international market while focusing on proper marketing through district local governments. A total of 132 SMEs benefited from this project in the areas of Lira, Kampala and Kabale.
Now my capacity has been built in export promotion, and particularly we should be aware that the commercial office is actually the point where traders get information.
These SMEs are now able to produce value-added products for export, making a significant shift from solely relying on agricultural exports. The Uganda Export Promotion Board is responsible for marketing these exports to other countries to increase revenue. However, to achieve this goal, funding is essential as it enables them to penetrate the international market effectively.
The key challenge in our export trade as Uganda is now the quality. The quantity bit, that is the size, can be addressed by the SMEs coming together. But the quality, we need to address the quality issues as a country.
When we talk of fish, for example, we meet fish exporters. When we talk of grains, we meet the grain people. When we talk fruits and vegetables, we meet groups. That will help us to overcome the challenges of funding.
The proprietors of small-medium enterprises express a desire to have organic Ugandan products certified, while also addressing the challenge of high business operating costs.
The health awareness or health conscious behaviors of consumers globally is increasing, and products that are organic have a higher value. Therefore, certification of organic Ugandan products means a higher value for the farmer who is planting, for the SME, and for the country in receiving export earnings.
That we need to think about how we help our producers and exporters to comply with certification, because when they export and we get money as a country, we gain.
And it is still an appeal. While government efforts are going on, and we are grateful as SMEs, but it needs to be much more focused to certain SMEs. The interest rates need to be lowered to ensure that SMEs are able to grapple with the challenges and the high interest rates.
At present, the primary market for Uganda remains within Africa. Therefore, having a trade regime that favors trade will explore the possibility of exporting both manufactured value-added and non-manufactured agricultural products. Uganda Export Promotion Board intends to set up regional offices to decentralize market strategy services. Ivan Kahwa and Sandra Kahunde, UBC News.
And now into the world of sports. A Ugandan English-based lady footballer, Jean Namayega Seninde, is promoting women's football in schools. Jean, a Ugandan professional female footballer based in the UK, has initiated a campaign to train talented young ladies in the game of sport. And now the campaign was launched at Chimazi Church of Uganda Primary School in Chichusa Town Council, where she also generously donated jerseys and other sports equipment.
The aim is to emphasize that young female footballers, just like their male counterparts, have immense potential in the game and deserve support to nurture their talents. Namayega Seninde encouraged teachers and parents to prioritize the promotion of these young talents as it lays a strong foundation for their future in sports.
About inspiring the young girls in this area to continue playing football. I'm excited with the skills that they have. They're already very good, and for me, I'm impressed with what I've seen. They have a competition on Friday, so hopefully they can win it. But the most important thing is giving them the opportunity to play football, for them to have a facility to express themselves, and of course for them to have balls.
Namayega Seninde pledged to visit various rural schools across the country, collaborating with teachers to train gifted girls and further promote women's football. The campaign kick-started at Chimazi Church of Uganda Primary School in Chichusa Town Council, Arua District, coinciding with the distribution of jerseys, balls and other sports attire to the students. The special envoy of the Uganda North American Association, Zephania Chiza Seninde, lauded Jeannie Namayega for her support in promoting women's football in rural areas.
Mulaba wano agenda kola wekisaawe mu Uganda wano nga kyekitendeka abazungu kyekitendeka abantu bonna okuva mu nsi yonna kigenda kubeera Senyomosi Kampala.
Okello John James, the head teacher of Chimazi Church of Uganda Primary School, expressed gratitude to Jean Seninde for her efforts in promoting women's football within their institution.
Sports has very many opportunities. Tomorrow, you never know, you'll be the ones on Uganda television. Are we together? Yes. You will be the ones representing our country in the world, in Olympics and the World Cup, as the others have been representing other countries in women's.
He mentioned that the training would help prepare their students for the upcoming Chichusa Zonal School Sports Competition. Salongo Fred Kasibante compiled this report.
The She Cranes will kick off their 2023 Netball World Cup campaign against Singapore tomorrow morning in Cape Town, South Africa. The tournament will end on the 6th of August and the team will be hoping to make the country proud.
The 2023 Vitality Netball World Cup is here, and the She Cranes are ready to raise the Ugandan flag high. The team that won both friendly matches against Barbados and Scotland earlier this week by scores of 54-33 and 54-47 respectively are confident that they can cause a shocker at this tournament.
Uganda and the She Cranes are well prepared. We have been fortunate enough to have 2 test matches. It also shows how much we are prepared for the game that is before us. The game that is before us is get a World Cup. Get the World Cup trophy, and we want to become #1.
The team residing at the Stay Easy Hotel in Cape Town, South Africa are ready to compete on the international stage and will not be intimidated by the opposition they are yet to face.
So far, I don't think that I have any fear, and inside me I don't feel that, because if you're feeling like you're fearless, of course you have it in your head or in your heart that you're fearless. But so far you don't, because always had friendlies so far like you, and we've been having training.
Uganda will need to finish top in order to dream of glory, as they are in Pool D together with New Zealand, Scotland and Trinidad and Tobago. Their opener will be against Singapore on Friday at 10 a.m. Marshall Miro, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. Well, we'll leave you with tomorrow's weather focused with Benon Kalema. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto. Good night. Over to you, Benon.
We woke up to sunny conditions across most parts of the country, apart from areas around the northeastern stretch of Uganda and areas around Lake Choga. Welcome to the weather update from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I am Kalema Benon. Looking at the satellite image of Africa, we see that there is a retreat of the rain belt coupled with the southeastern winds from the Indian Ocean that are being blown to our country and causing us this kind of weather. Tomorrow morning, we forecast sunny conditions across areas around Nakasongola and Mityana, while Masaka and Kampala are forecasted to have isolated showers. In the western, we forecast the western stretch to have sunny conditions, that is from Masindi to Kabale, while in the eastern, we forecast parts around Jinja and Tororo to have isolated showers, while other areas in the eastern, that is Mbali, Kumi, Katakui, will have sunny conditions. In the northern, we expect areas around Arua, Gulu and Chitugum to have sunny conditions, while areas around Kotido and Moroto will have isolated showers. In the afternoon, we forecast a pickup of rainfall in areas around Nakasongola, areas around Kampala and Wakiso, while areas around Masaka and Sembabuli are forecasted to have sunny conditions with temperatures ranging from 27 degrees in Kampala to 30 degrees Celsius in Mubende. For the western, we forecast a pickup of rainfall in areas around Masindi and Bundibujo, while areas around Kasese, areas around Barara and Kabale are forecasted to have sunny conditions with temperatures ranging from 25 degrees Celsius in Kabale to 29 degrees Celsius in Masindi. For the eastern, we forecast rainfall across most parts of the eastern, with temperatures ranging from 27 degrees Celsius in Kapchorwa to 30 degrees Celsius in Soroti. For the northern, we forecast rainfall across most parts of the northern, that is Arua, Gulu, Chitugum, Kotido and Moroto, with temperatures ranging from 28 degrees Celsius in Arua to 32 degrees Celsius in the Karamoja stretch. For the world cities, we say that London and Beijing are expected to have sunny intervals with maximum temperatures ranging from 30 degrees Celsius in Beijing and 25 degrees Celsius in London. Dubai and Cairo are sunny with temperatures at 42 degrees Celsius in Dubai and 41 degrees in Cairo, while Nairobi is expected to have isolated showers with a maximum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. Thank you for watching UBC. Tune in tomorrow same time. Shalom.